The Orm School has been around for almost 100 years, and it combines both standard and ranch-style education. However, their doors are at risk of being closed this year. It is powder day here at Snow Bowl, and there has already been 8 inches of snow today. Guests are standing in line, ready to hit the slopes and enjoy the fresh powder. Northern Arizona is home to world-renowned hiking, but it can also be dangerous. When someone gets stuck or stranded, the Yavapai County Search and Rescue Team answers the call. As federal funding is being cut across the country and at university, students here at Coconino Community College are getting hands-on experience and receiving state funding to pursue their career dreams. It is officially springtime here in Flagstaff, and what better way to celebrate than with some beautiful flowers. Viola's Flower Garden has a selection of pansies and violas to kick off the start of spring. Thank you, Kaylee. The bat infestation in Mountain View has been going on since at least September, probably months before that, but it was officially declared a safety risk last week. Mountain View was built in 1990 and was originally used for Greek housing. Second-year student Mario Yeva Jr. says the bat problem quickly escalated.
The bats had rabies, and there was just an infestation at Mountain View, and they just declared it like a health warning, and then it was a health issue, and then we moved out.
Yeva mentioned when he first noticed the bats in Mountain View.
It was like middle to late September. It was actually during a fire alarm. We evacuated the building, and I remember I was outside and I looked up and all I saw was just a bunch of bats flying over. That was the first time I saw them.
Since the bat problem happened quickly, students were moved to different apartments around Flagstaff.
This was definitely quick because I got back from work like Thursday night, and I got news from the CA that that's when we were moving, within 48 hours of Thursday night. Communication wasn't the best. Emailing was a little worse, a little iffy, but I do remember they did provide a lot of like boxes and like transportation to get your stuff to and from wherever you're going.
This experience is not what students planned for, especially since midterms were happening at the same time.
Just out of nowhere, bats just kind of like took over Mountain View, and that to me is just a crazy experience to be a part of. It definitely impacted a lot of people. Like, I know a few people who had midterms like the day after they moved, and they weren't even situated yet, and they did get an institutional excuse for about a week, but then they still have to take that midterm, and that can put a lot of stress on them.
NAU's Associate Vice President of Communications, Kimberly Ott, released a statement regarding the Mountain View situation. The statement says, in close consultation with Coconino County Health and Human Services, NAU issued guidance to residents on health and safety and initiated mitigation protocols throughout the building supported by a pest control contractor. Some students have told us they knew about the bats since August. Others say the creatures have been around the dorm much longer than that. Mountain View will be closed the rest of the academic year, and plans for the building are uncertain. Jordan Vallender, NAZ Today. Thanks, Alyssa. Yes, it's been a very dry winter, and things aren't likely to change much in the months ahead. But winter in Flagstaff is here. Instead, it has been unusually dry.
We've had this area of high pressure that's pretty much been parked over the western United States, and that's prevented weather systems from really digging far enough south to bring Flagstaff much appreciable snowfall.
There are still weeks left before spring, but we are already seeing record-setting drought conditions.
We're actually the 4th least snowiest winter through the end of January. So, if folks out there are wondering where the snow is, their intuitions are correct.
Yes, a lack of snow is a problem, but what's worse is the likely increase in fire danger.
We've seen worsening drought conditions, and when we get low snowpacks during the winter, that tends to lead to increased fire activity. So certainly it would be a good idea if people start to kind of think about that now and potentially prepare for what could be an active fire season.
KNAU meteorologist Lee Bourne says he's concerned.
we're going to see the fire danger increasing here moving forward if we don't see any storms moving in. And when we get into our windy season here, moving into April, we're already going to be in fire season.
Despite the current dry season, there's still hope for more snow.
Well, right now we are at 5.9 inches of snow on the entire snow season. We had the one storm early November, no snow in December, which has never happened in weather record keeping history. We're not going to be like go from nothing to everything and all of a sudden it's a great, wonderful year. We're already kind of past that point. We're just hoping for a couple lifelines here.
Bourne says we are in a La Nina winter, which is typically associated with dry weather. That means things don't look great as far as the rest of the season goes. Jordan Vallender, NAZ Today. Welcome back to NAZ Today. My name's Jordan Vallender, and I'll be your student forecaster this Wednesday evening. Now, taking a look at this picture behind me, we see our beloved aspen trees here in Flagstaff. And with the temperatures we're experiencing this week, this is one of the last weeks that you can experience these trees in their fall season. But I'll have more in this broadcast. Taking a look at Flagstaff, currently we see a temperature of 66 degrees with clear skies, barometric pressure sitting at 30.32 inches, relative humidity at 20%, and we have wind speeds of 6 miles per hour coming from the southwest direction. Our current satellite shows no cloud coverage up here in the north. However, we do have a small patch of clouds right here in the south, and they're slowly moving east into New Mexico. Our daily almanac today shows a high of 73 degrees with a low of 37, which is well above those averages of 61 and 29. And our high today was 3 degrees away from that record of 76 degrees set back in 2003. As for precipitation, we saw no precipitation yesterday, but since January 1st, we've seen 17.54 inches, which means we have surpassed our average of 16.63 inches. Taking a look at high temperatures today, we see Payson and Kingman with that high of 85, the Grand Canyon with that high of 70, and Phoenix breaking into the high 90s with that high of 96 degrees. Tonight we see a forecast low of 37 degrees with clear skies, and that sunset getting earlier and earlier, which already happened at 5:41 p.m. Tomorrow we see a forecast high of 72 degrees with increasing clouds, which means that our clear skies today will just have some clouds leading into tomorrow, and our sunrise will be at 6:41 a.m. tomorrow, and it's getting later and later as the temperatures are getting cooler, and our sunset will be at 5:40 p.m. tomorrow. Taking a look at forecast temperatures today throughout the state of Arizona, we see Show Low with that high of 76, low 42, Sedona that high of 85, low 58, and Prescott with that high of 81, low of 43. Taking a look at Flagstaff Extended, we are seeing some low 70s, but we do see a dip down on Monday. Thursday, we have those increasing clouds like I mentioned earlier, with a high of 72, low of 35. Friday, we see sunny skies with a high of 72, low of 34. Saturday, we have mostly sunny skies with a high of 73, low of 37. Sunday, we have partly sunny skies with a high of 71, low of 42. And Monday, it jumps down almost 10 degrees with a high of 62, low of 29. Now that is all I have for weather, but stay tuned for sports after the break with Connor Emery.